So after some leaks came out earlier in the week, Naughty Dog decided to release a trailer featuring the gameplay and some of the visual improvements for The Last of Us Part 1 Remake that is currently scheduled to be released in early September. With the remake just over a month away, fans got their first official look at the gameplay and the new features from Naughty Dog this week, and they are not too happy about it overall. I'm LittleBobby with 5/9 Gaming Direct, and today we're going to talk about the backlash around The Last of Us Part 1 Remake and its hefty $70 price tag. Before we begin, make sure you click that subscribe button and give us a like if you do enjoy this content, and hit that notification bell if you want to stay up to date with all the news, reviews, and other gaming content that we post here on the channel. Initially, people were pretty excited about The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. At Summer Game Fest, Naughty Dog presented a remake rebuilt from the ground up with the new Last of Us 2 engine built specifically for the PS5. The reason this had people so excited was because a lot of the gameplay advancements that were made between The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 made the feeling of playing The Last of Us 2 pretty incredible. Say what you want about the game and whether or not you like the story, the gameplay was a vast improvement on the original Last of Us, with the ability to go prone, hide in the grass, lay on furniture, crawl under trucks. All of these things added to a much more immersive experience when you were trying to deal with the enemies that you faced throughout Seattle in The Last of Us 2. Well, it turns out Naughty Dog is doing some of the things from Last of Us 2, but they're also leaving some of the things off the table. From what we've seen, we will not have the ability to go prone, we will not have the ability to interact with the environment any more than we did in the original Last of Us, which is kind of disappointing. However, one of the biggest staples that they have mentioned being something that we can count on being vastly improved is the enemy AI. This alone means that the experience between The Last of Us and The Last of Us Remake could be vastly different, as the enemy AI was greatly improved between The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2. One part that specifically comes to mind is when you're fighting the Seraphites in the forest in The Last of Us Part 2, and you realize that they're communicating via whistles, effectively making callouts to where the player might be at any given time. This created a huge sense of tension that was kind of missing when you were fighting human enemies in The Last of Us 1, so hopefully we can see some improvement on that and it will lead to a new gameplay experience. However, the criticism comes from the fact that there will not be a lot of other new additions in terms of gameplay to The Last of Us Part 1 Remake, which is, again, something that's been really disappointing. On the other end, we do see that there are huge improvements to how the characters look and interact, especially in the story-driven cutscenes. A big part of this trailer talks about how the performances get closer than ever to the original performances given by the actors, which is something that might be good for hardcore fans of the game, as they'll be able to see a much more clear representation of how the actors perform their parts, which is something that the original game was celebrated for. We also see that there's a lot of improvements, not only the lighting, but the textures of character models. Models have been completely redone, which is all very exciting again for fans of the game and the franchise as a whole. However, it may not be something that appeals to you if you're just a general gamer who is maybe excited about getting some of the big gameplay improvements from The Last of Us Part 2 put into the remaster. As such, we've seen a lot of backlash on Twitter, on gaming forums, message boards, and YouTube comments especially, about how people might be excited to pick up the game eventually, but a lot of people are saying now that they are going to wait for it to be on sale. The price point of $70 is quite high. It is a high asking price for something that is effectively another cosmetic touch-up. I mean, remember that The Last of Us was originally remastered for PlayStation 4 shortly after the PlayStation 4 drop, because it was one of the last titles in the PlayStation 3. Now, personally, I do want to say that I am excited for The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. I am a huge fan of the game. I mentioned before that fans of the game and the franchise will be excited for this remake regardless. I love how the visuals of The Last of Us 2 look, and I will be picking this one up for sure for myself. However, I would say that if you are someone who does agree that this is not enough of a true remake for you for this game, then hold off. $70 is a big price tag, and if it's not something that you want to spend your money on, then absolutely don't do it. There's nothing more important than voting with your wallet, as they say. make sure that if you don't agree with this, you don't spend the money. If you do agree with it and you want to spend the money, then go right ahead. However, I totally understand why some people would think that this is not enough for them in terms of a remake that was promised. But what do you think about The Last of Us Part 1 remake and the recent backlash? Are you upset that it's not as much of a remake as you hoped for? Or are you still excited because one of your favorite games is getting a very nice visual touch-up that's really going to let it reach further into this new console generation and keep things going for the franchise? Let us know down in the comments below, and make sure again to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you watched this video, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks so much for watching.